been making violence, killing brothers with your riders, selling drugs up on the corners, but the profits here, so boy, you better. You been making violence, killing brothers with your riders, selling drugs up on the corners, but the profits here, so boy, you better. Cause the profits here now. You better.
Hey, bring that out.
Cause the profits here now. See hanging on the corner, see hanging on the streets. Somebody run up on you, someday you never see. I got that Bible on me, don't need no gun. You got them questions, I get it like everyone. Looking like I come for war, even when I come in peace. 3 times I prayed to the Lord, 3 times I turn to these. Pop out to the club, sipping on that cup. Everything you do, I done did and I gave it up. You been making violence, killing brothers with your riders, selling drugs up on the corners, but the profits here, so boy, you better. You been making violence, killing brothers with your riders, selling drugs up on the corners, but the profits here, so boy, you better. Cause the profits here now. You better.
Hey, bring that out.
Cause the profits here now. Making violence, killing brothers with your riders, selling drugs up on the corners, but the profits here, so boy, you better. You been making violence, killing brothers with your riders, selling drugs up on the corners, but the profits here, so boy, you better. Cause the profits here now. You better.
Hey, bring that out.
Cause the profits here now. So you think you a man, cause you pushing them drugs, while I'm taking care of my family and showing them love. And you thinking you high, well I'm thinking you not. Cause what really makes you a man is keeping the laws of God. Wait a minute, let me tell the truth. Life and death is set before you, what you gon' do? And if you wanna get them demons from above you, and I suggest you start repenting, man. You been making violence, killing brothers with your riders, selling drugs up on the corners, but the profits here, so boy, you better. You been making violence, killing brothers with your riders, selling drugs up on the corners, but the profits here, so boy, you better. Cause the profits here now. Profits here, yeah. You better, man. Cause the profits here now. We the saviors of the
Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless, Most High in Christ bless. Welcome back to Man Up Mondays. All right, today's topic is developing mental fortitude in a wicked and demonic world. Why did I say developing mental fortitude? Because you're going to need mental fortitude, strength, spiritual prowess in order to survive the times ahead of us, and even to survive the world that we live in today. Everywhere, get me that real quick in Amos chapter 9. You look to the left, you look to the right. You look before you look up, you look down. Sin is everywhere you look. Amos chapter 9.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 9.
Start at verse 11.
Verse 11.
Start at verse 9.
Verse 9. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain.
Sorry, brother. Get me when it says the sinful. My eyes are upon the sinful kingdom.
Yes, sir.
That's Amos chapter. It just popped up to my head real quick.
Yes, sir.
Give me 1 second.
Oh, verse 8.
Verse 8. Yes, that's what I wanted. Verse 8.
Amos chapter 9, verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom.
America is the most sinful kingdom of kingdoms to ever exist. That's why it's called Babylon the Great. Why Babylon? After Babel. Babel means confusion. Lan means land. Land of confusion. God's eyes is upon the most sinful kingdom. Why is America the most sinful kingdom? You have places like Russia. You have other European countries, other Edomite countries, other Arabic countries, Middle Eastern countries. You have Asiatic countries, in the East Indian countries. And we travel to these different locations. Even though the other nations go heavily into idolatry, there's still a sense of morality. There's still a sense of, health consciousness. Like I was just watching a video of Russia. Russia kicked out McDonald's out of the country. Why? Because they understand that there's health conditions or there's certain digressive non-nutritional values that doesn't contribute to your physical health as well as your mental health. Remember, McDonald's and a lot of these fast food restaurants was erected or resurrected in the late 1960s. It was a fast food, like I said, it was one of the things that Esau used to weaken our system, our body. America's the most wicked kingdom. Go on.
Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom.
So sinful that America would not give you some type of government fund or federal fund, I'll say international funding if there's a natural disaster. You have to accept their policies. You have to accept their ideologies or their gay agenda. Barack Obama in 2008, when you have Boko Haram or Burkina Faso, I think, when they had a war, they was asking for some type of financial relief to fight Boko Haram. They said in order to receive financial relief to fight the armies, you have to accept homosexuality. They did it in Uganda. The president of Uganda said, no, we're not going to accept that. And in fact, we're going to put laws, stringent laws in place. If we find any manner of homosexuality within our country, then we're going to prosecute them with the highest with the highest mark of the law. Why? Because they understand the strength of a nation is the strength of the household. The birth of the nations starts from the household. Esau understands how to weaken nations and weakens nations through family. How do we know? They did it to us in the 1960s. They did it through the prison, the school to prison pipeline. They did it through the mass incarceration. They did it through the drug epidemic. When they lock up black men, lock them up. Even in the 1990s when you had the 3 strike laws. Come on, put this stuff on the screen. Why are you just showing it? Just put them on the screen. You have it with the 1990s with Bill Clinton with the 3 strike rules. 3 striking what? You was given what? A felony. Now, many black men, if they wanted a job, they can't get a job. If they want to raise their household, provide for the wife and children, then they're not going to be able to do it. Give me that in Thessalonians. 2 Timothy 3, verse 5. Why don't you put it on the screen? So America is the most sinful kingdom. 1 Timothy 3, verse 5.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 5. For if a man know not how to rule his own...
5, verse 8.
5, verse 8, yes,
Mm-hmm.
sir.
1 Timothy 5, verse 8.
1 Timothy 5, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith, and is worse than an infidel.
It has always been common knowledge within the black community or any nation that the man was always the provider. It's not until today we have this new modernistic type of mentality or feministic type of mentality where it's equal. But it's always was meant for the man to provide protection and substance to the household. Get me that in Exodus chapter 21, verse 8. So that was common knowledge, that if a man does not provide for his own house, he has denied the faith. So what happens when a man doesn't provide for his own house? He can't have a house. That's why you have the government assistance. You have Section 8. You have WIC, Women, Infant, and Children. You have all these different government subsidies that were set up in order to destroy the black household. Read.
Exodus chapter 21, verse 8.
Is that what I want? Verse 10.
Verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish.
If he take, now we're not talking about, like I said, this is going to something different in terms of the Hebrew servant. But the point I want is, read that last part again.
Her food, her raiment.
Her food, going to her substance. Her food, her clothing, read.
And her duty of marriage.
And her duty of marriage. I mean, there's certain duties of marriage that a man is supposed to provide or assist in that's what it goes in if a man provides not for his own household. Her food, her raiment, and duties of marriage. Read.
Shall he not diminish.
Shall he not diminish? So what did Esau do? Esau intervened and created conditions that a man cannot provide for the household. Created conditions where they locked the black man up. They imprisoned a black man for menial crimes, low-grade crimes. I'm talking about selling weed, prison. So little crimes that Esau would do, but they will get probation. So low-grade crimes, they'll lock them up. Read that again.
Exodus 21, verse 10. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish.
The white man knows that. Her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. What do you think a woman's going to do when she doesn't feel protected? When she doesn't feel provided for? When she doesn't feel clothed? She's going to seek that attention from somebody else. And who's that person? The American government. That's why the black woman is against the black man, because she doesn't feel that sense of protection. Now she goes to 911. Where back in the days, you had a black community, you had the Black Panther, they said, the hell with the police. The police are the one that's oppressing us. Why not police our own community? That's when you had the Black Panthers raised up, says, we don't need another nation, another man to protect our women, protect our children. That's our responsibility. You know what? We don't need government programs or government subsidies. We will create our own program. You saw that in the movie, Judas and the Black Messiah, was Fred Hampton. He went up to, what was the crew? What were they called again? No. It was the gang. I forgot what they're called. The GDs. He went to the GDs and he was like, "Yo, listen, we could look what we could do together. We had the school and we had the school lunch program, the after school lunch program, the after school program. We have the lunch program where we could provide food for the kids. We're trying to create hospitals." Or which they did have at one point. They had transportation and stuff like that. So they were looking for more so of a sustainable, self-sustainable community where they could provide the basic necessities for their own nation. That's what it means to be a man, to provide your own subsistence. Think about telling your wife, your children, to go to another nation, another man, for something that you're supposed to provide for. Your woman her desire is supposed to be to you. Why? Because she understands that in order for me to survive, I need what? I need a man. She understands biologically, physiologically, that she needs a man to survive. Man was always the hunter, the gatherers. The woman was always the nourishers, the cooker, the cleaners. That was the perfect system the Lord created. So Esau created conditions and environment so for the man not to provide for his own household. That's why this is the most demonic and wicked kingdom. Go back now, go to Sirach, chapter 25, verse 22.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach.
Now, you have different organizations, different banks, different institutions, different corporations providing different financial grants to black women organizations and black businesswomen. Billions of dollars, $10 billion. You have, I believe it was, I forgot which bank it was, but one of your more successful or one of your more bigger banks provided $10 billion for the next 10 years to black organizations to cater to women empowerment, different business ventures, financial grants to help black women in their business endeavors, startups, businesses, college funding. But why not give these federal grants to the people you destroyed? To the men, yeah, bring that up. J.P. Morgan, thank you, bring that up. That's why this is the most wicked and demonic kingdom. Read that.
J.P. Morgan Chase commits $350 million to grow black, Latinx, and woman-owned small businesses.
J.P. Chase commits $350 million to grow black, Latinx, and woman-owned small businesses. Where's the black man and the Latino man within that grant? Where is it? $350 million, but they say that they don't have enough money to give us reparations. The government doesn't have enough money. $350 million, you telling me that you don't have enough money to give reparations to the black community? For us to start our own businesses? College funding to young brothers in the community? So that we could get, or even give us some type of government funded where we have what is called your vocational trades within the schools where we can learn different trades such as electrician, such as carpentry, such as engineering. You have STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. These are the things that make a nation operate. A nation is not operational without STEM. Why not give government grants to black men, the ones that you falsely imprison? Why not give government grants to all the descendants of those of Black Wall Street and Rosewood, all those in Central Park, all those in Lake Lanier, all those in Detroit, Chicago, all those black economic thriving communities that was thriving economically? We have our own banking system. We had our own churches. We had our own airports. We had our own hospitals. We had our own schools. We had our own businesses. We have our own raw textiles, clothing companies. We had everything that was to self-sustain us as a community. The dollar circulated within our nation or within the black community for, I believe it was more than a year or 300 and something days. Something crazy, or 180, something crazy. The dollar circulated in the black community and did not see white hands for periods of time. And white people during the Red Summer in 1920s got jealous and bombed over 21 black communities. They called it the Red Summer of 1982 or 1918 or 1920 to 1921. That was, I will say, that was a coordinated attack. Jealousy, hatred, envy. Go back to the article. Pull it up. Come on now. Right here. Yep. So $350 million. Go on.
New York, February 25th, 2021. Today, J.P. Morgan Chase announced a new $350 million 5-year global commitment to grow black, Latinx, women-owned, and other undeserved small businesses, help address the racial wealth divide, and create a more inclusive recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic.
Go on.
The pandemic has exacerbated historic challenges for black, Latinx, women, and other.
What does Latinx stand for?
The Latin community. They call it Latinx.
They call it Latinx?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds gay to me. Go on. Go on.
Black, Latinx, women, and other undeserved small businesses to access necessary capital to sustain and grow. According to the J.P. Morgan Chase Institute, black, Latinx, and women-owned small businesses are underrepresented among firms with substantial external financing, limiting opportunities to scale their businesses. Further, financial challenges faced by black and Latinx small businesses are more substantial relative to white-owned businesses, meaning they are especially vulnerable in today's environment.
Nobody sees the problem with that? No, you're telling me no one sees the problem with J.P. Chase Morgan, which was instrumental in slave money, meaning they are one of the forerunners of people or banking systems that profited off of slavery, being in a thriving banking system that we know today. So nobody sees the problem that they could give $350 million to black, not even black community, the black woman within the black community, but they just skipped over the black man, not knowing that the black man is the head of the household. The Bible says the man is the head of the household, but every nation man could be the head of the household. The Chinese man is head of his household. The Japanese man, the East Indian man. There's no such thing as feminism only exists in first world countries. It doesn't exist in third world impoverished countries. Feminism is not even a thought process. Like I was saying, for example, I said it before. In India, when we went there, I never saw, listen, when a bishop said for you brothers, if you want to find a wife, go out there all the way, cross the ocean, cross the sea, cross land and water, go to a country and land, go to a country, 4 7-day journeys, right all the way into the abyss of the other opposite side of the world, to the deep blue ocean, where you can go to the end of the earth where there's no land, where you can't even see land. It's all blue sea. And when you finally land on some type of land, then you go into the bush, go into the forest, then you find yourself a wife. Why? And I never knew what the bitch was talking about. Dang, shit, that's kind of excessive. Listen, when I went to India, that's exactly what we saw. There was no feminism, no masculinity. It didn't even exist. It wasn't an ounce. It wasn't an inch. It was non-existent. I was like, where is it? I said, wow. Like, even in Africa, there's certain, traces of feminism there because of the influence that America brings to Africa. Because you have Mark Zuckerberg, he has what is called he's trying to connect the continents with a wire that he's trying to extend throughout the ocean so that he can supply Africa with internet. So why? To push their ideologies on them, to push their doctrines, their peace. They're trying to indoctrinate the people. That's why you have Uganda, these different African countries now. They're trying to limit the access that America has to the people as well as the youth. You have I believe, what was the Caribbean countries that's fighting back? It was a video in the Caribbean country, I believe it was a mayor or something like that. He says, yo, one of the principles, he says, keep your that transgenderism or that gay agenda out of our school system. He says, we got to fight back as a people. We're not going to allow them to attack our children and destroy our country. They understand that. So just to talk about that, I've never seen that before. The level of femininity that exists over there. I said, gosh, what is this? Yo, like, they 98, I don't even, how do you explain something like that? That was the first, 99.1% of the women, 99.67% of the women wore dresses of our people out there. They wore dress. And when we read Deuteronomy 22:5, the woman should not wear that which pertained to a man. They said, oh, that's the law? Because it was natural to them. When we went there, the women naturally sat on the opposite side, and the men naturally sat on the opposite side. When we went over scriptures, the women naturally had head coverings and head wraps on. They barely talked. They only spoke when it was meant, time for them to speak. And they came humble. Every time we taught, you're going to see the documentary, they always opened up with a song and a dance. Everywhere we went. Everywhere we went, the respect that they had, it was like Zion dancers. They always opened up with a song and a dance, and it was beautiful. It was like, wow. I felt like the man. Hey, listen, some of our sisters are doing it here. Not all of our sisters. The majority of sisters ain't right. But some of our sisters do in America, like I said, in IUIC, do treat us with respect. So there's no shade towards you sisters. Because some of you sisters do have feminine attributes and qualities that you exhibit. Just a little bit to the masculinity in it because of America. But you do exhibit traits of feminist qualities because you've been raised correctly. You had good upbringings, and you listen, and you repented. But a lot of you sisters in the IUIC, you still got manly spirits on you. So now go back to that. Sirach 25, verse 20, what do I want? 22.
Sirach chapter 25, verse 22. A woman, if she maintain her husband.
That's why the white man understands that. J.P. Morgan understands that. He says, get these black women grants. Get them, the black women and black businesses, $350 million in government grants. Yes, you want to say something?
Check. Yes. Kat, you look at the article, right? Mm-hmm. That article, that grant that was given, It's to reinforce what Willie Lynch already instituted.
Exactly.
That's what that's for.
Exactly.
And the reason why they doing this, because they think that's a think tank behind that.
Yep.
The reason why they did that is because what got popularized in today's times is the manosphere. You hear like Kevin Samuels and all that, men being providers and living up to the expectation of being a man. Now they got to do some type of damage control to reaffirm what Willie Lynch already put in place. That's what that's for.
Exactly. That's exactly what that's for. Yep, 100%. Go on.
A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach.
And that's why the black woman stays single, even up in age, to what they call is hitting the wall or danger zone. Like
She belongs to the street.
like my man, rest in peace, Kevin Samuel. Like my man Kevin Samuel would say, the danger zone. You get to that point when you start rushing because from your 20s, I'll say you're, this word, I got to be careful what I say because, my mind could go to places. So I can't find PG words. That's how bad my mind is. But let's say in their prime years, where they're supposed to get married, when their body's at their best. Meaning when you're supposed to get married because at a young age, you get married so when you get a little bit older, you can enjoy your children. You get young, your husband enjoys you, you haven't been ran through, and statistically speaking, it's been well documented and researched that women with multiple partners is more prone to get divorced before 5 years within a marriage. Because with many different sex is spiritual. That's why the two should be one flesh. When a woman has multiple sex partners, she has multiple different DNAs and different spirits within her. You take on the spirit of that man and inhabit your thought process. So when you're speaking to that man, it's not just you speaking. It's Dick, it's Harry, it's Raheem, it's Franklin, it's what? Leroy. All them niggas in one speaking through you, and you wonder why. You wake up one day, you says, you know what? I'm going to write a letter on behalf, and I'm going to write a letter to the leadership. And my husband is the one that wrote the letter, but it's me really that's writing the letter to show my husband that he doesn't care for me, that he doesn't love me, and that he wants to spend time with I'm the reason why I'm blamed. I'm speaking about a situation, by the way. He blames me for him sending his son away. I'm telling you, when women dive into the realms of oversex or promiscuity, you're messing with your mental health. And that's why a lot of you women never know what you really want because you have so many different men, you have different personalities, different attributes, and different hobbies. So now you're never satisfied. He takes you, that doesn't satisfy. You're never satisfied because you did everything with different men, so you never really were stable. You're supposed to be patterned after that man's wants and likes and needs. Just like in, what is it called, Coming to America? She said, whatever you want, whatever you like. That's supposed to be natural within a woman. A man's supposed to take the leadership. She's supposed to adjust to his spirit. That's why when a man takes a woman's virginity, what does she do? She cleaves unto that man. She doesn't date. Brothers call that crazy. That's not crazy. That's natural. That's her naturally cleaving unto you. When you go outside of that order or outside of the realm of God and you dive into the realm of Satan and open that box of promiscuity, you open up the realms of demons to your mind. And that's why you can never get along with your husband. That's why there's always arguments. That's why the sex is never good. That's why there's always commotion. You come up to the leadership table every week. What the hell can we do? Like, we just had a council the other day. The woman wants counsel. She had 2 councils, 3 councils, 4 councils. The deacon gave counsel. I gave counsels. The 50 gave counsel. I had to stop them in the middle of the council. Says, why are you wasting your time? The husband provides for her. She doesn't work. The husband takes care of the bills, the lights, her clothing, the food. He's fulfilling all the duties of marriage that the Bible describes. If the husband humbles her sexually, so if she's not listening to the man that's sexually involved with her, that's providing the the substance for her, what makes you think she's going to listen to us? Somebody that she barely sees. That's why Deacon says we cannot fix your marriages. We're wasting our time with a lot of you. Read that again.
Sirach 25, verse 22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger.
And Esau knows that. What do they call it? Acrimony? The acrimonious black woman. See that movie? If you don't get a chance, go watch the movie. Excellent movie. Acrimony, if a woman maintaineth her husband, she is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. Because it's not natural for a woman to maintain a man. That's not natural. That's why you have some black women. You have Vivica Fox. You have Taraji P. Henderson. What are some? You have Vivica Fox, Taraji P. Henderson. You have Tyra Banks. Who else? Lisa Ray. So you have these black circle of supposedly successful black women that made it. And you wonder why. These are beautiful women. In their prime, they're some of the top women. Halle Berry, all these women. Why is it that they can't find a husband at their age? And they're established. They're famous. They got money. They got wealth. They got riches. They got looks. They got everything a woman supposedly will have. But why is it? Oh, is that the infamous list of single black women? Huh? Damn. So why is it that they can't find a husband? Because they understand it's not natural for a woman to maintain her husband. So most of the time, women will look for men with a tax bracket above theirs or earners that's above theirs. Now, if you understand the system was not set up for the black man to prosper. That's why we see $350 million, not to the black man, to the black woman, because she understands it's not natural for a woman to maintain a man. So she finds a man on a financial bracket above her. And what percentage of man is that in general that makes over 100,000 or 350,000, which is the 1% of men? There's only 1% of men. And that's 1% of white men. That's probably 0.0000001% of black men. I mean, the lowest percentage of black men that fit that. So the black woman, what's she going to do? Stay single until she hit the wall, until she can't have children, and then she's going to die alone, like Kevin Samuels said. And Kevin was trying to bring some type of consciousness to the community. Say, yo, won't you settle for, not settle, but why don't you deal with a man that, a good man, an upstanding man, a man that's going to take care of you, a man that's going to, contribute. Why don't you just deal with a man? Don't worry about the financial bracket. Don't worry about how much money he's making. Just find a man that that's going to love you, that's going to care for you, that's going to protect you, and that's going to contribute. You both contribute financially. Find that. Read on.
Verse 22. Sirach 25:22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach.
Read.
A wicked woman abateth the courage.
Now notice how it says a woman, if she maintaineth her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and reproach. So after a while, she's filled with all these different attributes: anger, reproach, impudence. The Bible says a wicked woman, meaning she starts taking on the attributes of a wicked woman. She starts being disrespectful. She starts talking down on her man. She starts saying, you ain't SH. You ain't nobody. I could get it from anybody else. Mr. What is that, the house that prays on it? Something like that? Mr. Carson or whatever his name. He's not that your child. That's not your child. She starts sleeping with the boss. She becomes impudent. She becomes restless. She starts complaining. She starts nagging. Eventually, she starts sleeping out. A wicked woman. That's why we tell brothers in the IUIC to get a job, get a place, get a house, have the house in your name, have everything in your name, because we understand the nature of a woman. You give a woman any type of leeway. You give her any type of sense of power, she takes it an inch and she runs a mile. That's why in certain countries, they don't allow women certain things, because they understand a woman gets a little bit, they completely corrupted. Now, like, we don't condone beating, but some countries, they don't allow them to drive. They don't allow, because they want to make sure they keep their woman in line, because they understand the influences that the West is trying to push. Now, we're not saying that we're not going to allow our woman to drive certain things. We're just saying that some countries try to protect the little that they do have, which is family, what makes a nation. If not, you have women providing for men, maintaining the household, and the Bible calls these wicked women. All these single women, all these hot girls summer, all these city girls, all these entrepreneurs, these business women up in age, single, but they don't have nothing to, single, successful, but they have nothing to speak from the success. They don't have children. They don't have, think about, what is success without life, children, family? That's the real true measurement of success, not your business, how much money. Because Andrew Tate said it best. He says, he said he had his grandmother. His grandmother was up. He had some type of family event, and he looked at his grandmother and said, "Wow, look at all these people that came from one woman." Nobody asked her, "What kind of job did you have?" Nobody asked her, how much money did you save up? Nobody asked her about, what kind of businesses are you working on? Nobody worried about that. They just, only thing they was focused on is this woman brought all this life into the world. What is your legacy you're going to leave behind? What is your legacy? Is it your job, your business? Is that going to keep you warm and comforted at night? Read on.
Verse 23. A wicked woman abateth the courage.
And she becomes wicked, and she abates the courage of a man. Now, he doesn't even want to go out to teach. He's tired. He works. Now he got to come home and clean the house. He got to come home and clean the house, because now you make more than him. So he says, because I make more, you have to fill in. You have to fill in some of the areas. That means the things that I'm supposed to do, since I make more, you got to clean the house, take care of the children. She abated the courage. She takes that masculinity out from that man, that courage from that man. She feminizes that man, effeminizes that man. Go on.
A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh an heavy countenance and a wounded heart.
Maketh the heavy countenance and a wounded heart. And you wonder why that man is sad. You got something for me? You got that? Yeah, play that. And maketh a heavy countenance and a wounded heart. Play that.
I was at my grandmother's 93rd birthday. I looked there. My grandmother had 9 children, because there was my father and 8 more. They all had a bunch of kids, blah, blah, blah. I stood there and I looked at my 93-year-old grandmother, and there was a whole room full with maybe 70 people that came from that one woman. Isn't that remarkable? Yeah. That nobody cared about her career. Nobody asked what job she did. Nobody asked how many times she went to the club. Nobody asked if she had time to go to festivals. No, you had 70 sentient beings, including myself, full of life from one woman who dedicated herself to being a mother and a good wife. That is beautiful. And if you sit here and genuinely think that you're going to work your ass off through your fertile years, and by the age of 54, you're not going to be suicidal alone with a cat, then you're dumb. The happiest women on earth have children and a man who's paying the bills and their mothers. The happiest people on earth. I guarantee it. Your mothers, ask your own mother, do you regret having?
That's it. Exactly. Keep reading.
A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh an heavy countenance and a wounded heart. Mm-hmm. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress, maketh weak hands and feeble knees.
Hey, get me that scene from Acrimony, when the husband makes, you know what I'm talking about, when he comes to give her a $10 million check. It says, you know what I'm talking about? It says, a woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. Now, there's a lot of things in the movie where she had to provide. A lot of things that, like I said, where he went wrong, that created that spirit in her. But she would have stuck with him because she believed in him. Even though she was angry, she developed resentment because she was taking care of the household. We understand that. We understand the scriptures when it goes into that. We're not condoning that a man should just work on his dreams all those years and a woman provide for him. We're not condoning that. Her sisters got in her ear and convinced her to divorce him. Now, the Bible doesn't speak about divorce. Yes, he should have been provided if he was amongst, even though it's a movie, but I'm going to bring up today, it's reality. If he was amongst brothers, who's a brother, we understand that you're working on your stuff. You know, we understand that you're working on a big deal. But you also got to get some type of job to provide and contribute. Even if it's not something that, like I said, a career, you're working on something on the side where you get something light. So while you're working on the side, you're training, you're taking courses, you're getting your certifications, whatever it is, you're developing things. Get something small so she has a job. Say, babe, listen, I need you to take on a job so that I could do this, so that I could study and work on something bigger so that you don't have to work. So that's my biggest goal, but I can't do that without, I need help. So that I can provide for you. So it says, a woman that will not comfort her husband in distress, make it weak hands and a feeble knees. A woman's job is to encourage and comfort her husband in distress when he's going through things, when the world is beating him down, when he's going through financial hardship, when his job is beating him down, when the police is beating him down, when the people call him nothing, when we go out there and teach, you know, we have everything against us, when they mock us, when they scorn us. We need our woman to breathe life into us. That low self-esteem that's been bred into us from our youth. For the time we went to grade school, when we learned the founding fathers of America, when we learned white supremacist history, white supremacist education, when we learned Christ being white, all these things creates and nurtures an environment of self-hate and low self-esteem. So as we're building ourselves up, and when those thoughts of insecurities creeps in us, because it does, because we're men, we need our woman to breathe that life in him. Man, my man's feeling down. Then Satan's getting to him. Yo, my man, you're a king. Yo, my man, you're a God. Don't let these devils get to you. Yo, how can I help you? How can I assist you? Don't let the world beat you down. Let me give you a massage. Let me give you a back rub. Let me throw it down on you. You know what I'm saying? No, let me be your comfort. Let me be your rest. Let me be your pillar from stress. Let me breathe life into you so that you can go and conquer the world. A wicked world. Go on, play that.
Izzy.
Just wanted to come here to tell you thank you for loving me. Kept me believing.
We are never getting back together, okay?
Yeah,
Never.
I know.
So, what is this? You borrow a suit? You come up here and try to impress me? For what?
My battery, it hit. I signed a deal. I'm in business with Prescott.
Good for you.
Good for us. I know our divorce is finalized, but I wanted you to have
$10 million.
everything you've done for me over the years. I don't know many women who would have put up with me, loved me, cared for me, believed in me. I don't blame you. Just sorry that my dream took so long to come true. You gave me 2 minutes. I'm sure it's just about up. I love you, Mel. I always will. Oh, I almost forgot. Your mama's house. It's yours again.
Thank you.
Damn.
Hey, Melinda.
Where you been?
Damn. Oh, that's it. Listen. Watch that movie. Excellent movie. So the gist of the movie is the brother, he was developing a technology, a battery. On that he was developing. The technology wasn't out at the time. So she worked while he was at home, like I said, which I don't condone, and we don't agree with, we don't teach that because it's not scriptural. He was working on his dreams for years. They got older, working on his dreams. So her sisters got in the air because he finally, Prescott, which was one of the corporation companies that saw the battery after a while, he met this woman that, like I said, in college. And she got him to sit down with Prescott. He saw the battery. He loved it. He offered him a deal. And it was only $800,000. So she was like, yo, get it. We're in debt. We're broke. I have to sell the house. Yo, get that money. He said, no. He said, if he's offering me $800,000, how much more you think the product is worth? You know how Esau operates. He says, no. Sign a deal with me, and I want the royalties with that. So he's thinking long term. Women are more so, short term, quick. Men, we think for the long term. We try to think.
That's right.
I'll say, what's the word I'm looking for? Damn. No. We look for the future. We have thank you. Foresight. We have foresight. Women look for now. Oh, I can't do. No, we have foresight. We look a year from now, 5 years from now. That's why my father was always like, what's your 5-year plan? He was always training me or building me up as a man, never to look day by day or year by year. Look 5 years from now. Develop your life and see or vision your life 5 years from today and work on that. Don't work day to day, but see yourself 5 years and live up to that person that you want to become. And that's what the father's job is supposed to do. So he saw things, he had foresight, said, no, I'm going to pull back, and this is how Esau plays. He says he already wants the technology, he already agrees, and he's ready to sign a deal. So let me play the game. Let me pull out and let him come to me over time. And he did. So think about it. If he gave her $10 million, how much money do you think he got? $150 million. And he bought her house. Everything. And she became crazy. She said, y'all should never listen to your woman. Because she supported him. She loved him. She cared for him. But she let another woman, miserable people, intervene. That's why they said single people keep people single. Even though they weren't single, but might as well have been single because they was ruling over their man.
Bruh.
But, yeah. So a woman is supposed to comfort and her husband distress and make it the weak hands of feeble knee. All right. So get me Psalms chapter 51, verse 5. Developing mental fortitude in a wicked and demonic world.
The book of Psalms.
Sorry, we didn't finish Amos chapter 9, verse 8. Go back to Amos chapter 9, verse 8. That was my little rant.
Amos chapter 9, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth.
So America is the sinful kingdom. And that's why I say the title is Developing Mental Fortitude in a Wicked and Demonic World, because it's hard for black men or just men and women in general to have some type of courage or any type of fortitude, any type of mental health or strength, any type of confidence or encouragement to push forward, because this world beats you down to your knees, and it brings many people and kills them spiritually. That's why people walking around and their dead bodies should lie in the street of the great city. And that's why coming to this truth, the spirit of life, give me that. And it's Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. This place has killed us mentally, spiritually, physically.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city.
Why does it call dead bodies? Because outwardly we walk around the street as if we're alive, but inwardly we're full of dead bones. We're dead inside. It's filled with low self-esteem, self-hatred, a lack of confidence, insecurities. Those are all the ingredients of a person that's living, walking dead. Like Esau calls it, the walking dead. Walking with your loud-ass hip-hop music, twerking your Instagram models, your twerk kings, queens, your pimps, your thugs, your drug dealers, your stick-up kids, your gangsters. These are all people spiritually dead that's filled with self-hate, filled with insecurity. So they try to find something or cleave onto something that they can find that gives them that confidence. But they look for it in all the wrong places, and it kills them further. That's why they walk around hating each other. They blonde their hair. They kill each other. They kill themselves. Our women sleep around. They open their legs. They allow men to exploit them, take advantage of them, pimp them. Why? Because of that low self-esteem and that hatred that America nourished within us. They can nourish and create an environment of self-hatred. Read it again.
Revelations 11:8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is America. Go on.
Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
And spiritually, which is called Sodom and Egypt. And that's why they're infusing the gay agenda within the black community and trying to feminize black men to further destroy the black household and further destroy us spiritually. Because think about it, how much more work a man got to do with a spirit of homosexuality. Is bad enough that the black man's on the bottom. But put on top of that, him being on the bottom, put a spirit in him that he develops feminine attributes. So now he find out who he is. He find out his purpose. Now he got more work to do. He got work in terms of developing a self-conscience. He has work in terms of developing masculinity. He has work developing that mental prowess, mental fortitude. And he has to develop that work and work on not being feminine. So he has even more work. And that's going to take even longer, more years. But it says the dead bodies lie in the street of that great city, America. Give me that Isaiah chapter 51, verse 20. So our dead bodies lie in the street. Real quick, sorry. Give me Proverbs 21, verse 16. What does it mean, our dead bodies?
The book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 16. Verse 16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
When you're walking out of the understanding of the Bible, when you operate outside of the laws of God, thou shalt not commit adultery. When you operate out of that, guess what? It puts a dead spirit within you. You walk in the congregation of the dead. When our women have sex and open their legs to different men, when you pass that threshold of one person, then after a while you look for love in all the wrong places. You go to the second person. Then you find love, and you find out that you can't get love from that man because that first person was a man that was supposed to give you that love that you was looking for. And then you go to the third person. The third person takes advantage of you. Then you go to the fifth person. And what happens within you? After a while, you're killing your own self. You're killing that spirit within you. And that's why a lot of our women have mental health issues because they're killing themselves when they give their bodies over to anybody to take advantage. You're spiritually murdering yourself. You have different spirits inhabiting your vessel. That's dead. When you have brothers killing, when you kill another man, what do you think that does to a man? That haunts you. That to kill another person out of hatred and malice. I'm not talking about defending yourself. I'm talking about when you take a life out of hatred and malice. You think these people are the same? Look at these people that go to war. They're never the same. They develop PTSD. They see the dead bodies. They see the people that they kill every day in their sleep. They wake up. They haunt them. They have nightmares. They have dreams. When you walk outside of the commandments, it does something to your spirit. It kills you. And these people, you see them, PTSD, they never heal. They never heal. A lot of them become poor, broke, homeless. Some of them become mercenaries because they're dead. These things, the laws is supposed to protect us. It's supposed to keep us children from hurt. All these things contribute to the mental state and the decay within our people, psychologically, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So read it again.
Proverbs chapter 21, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
When you walk out of the way of understanding, you remain in the congregation of the dead. We're the walking dead. When you see us walking around with our pants sagging, hanging off our behind, talking about that's gangster. Now, you notice that you don't really see too many people sagging now? Now the new trend, the fashion trend is going to be dresses. That's a new trend. It went from sagging. It went from, what the hell? Weird. Oh, trans. Oh, okay, sorry. Sagging to fagging. Look at that. It went from sagging your pants, sagging to fagging to what? To dresses. That's what all of them wearing the pants. Now they've been exploited. They got the finger put down the boxes. Now what do you think? They've been feminized. They've been sexualized. They've been traumatized. Now they're wearing dresses.
Now, I tell you what, I like you,
and I want you. Now we can do this the easy.
There's something wrong with you guys. Give me Isaiah 51 verse 20 now.
Isaiah chapter 51 verse 9. Awake, awake, put on strength.
No. I said 51 verse 20.
Oh, 20.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah 51 verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord.
Thy sons, that's why it says their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, America. When you have no purpose, sorry, that thing messed me up. When you have no purpose in life, what do you think you're going to do? Think about it. You have no education. You was told that you're nobody. You was told that you're 3/5 of the man. You was told that you can't be somebody in this world. You were kept from keeping, like I said, providing. This institution is set up to keep us on the bottom. What do you think is going to happen? You start resorting to drugs. You flood our communities. You already have a low self-esteem. You already falsely locked me up. You already took me away from my family. You already shot my father, killed my father, to allow my mother to raise me on my own. And on top of that, in the 80s now, I'm a direct result of the men that you locked up, the black activists that you killed. I come from that generation of fatherless households, of all the black leaders that you killed, all the black men that was trying to stand up for this country, the community. I'm a direct result of all those black men that's still in prison right now. The Black Panthers, all those black men that was doing what black men were supposed to do, doing what a man's supposed to do and providing for his household, providing for his community, providing protection, providing food, providing health. You say that we're supposed to do that. That's what the Bible says. When I do that, you kill us. You kill our leaders. You lock us up. You incarcerate us. You experimented us. You poison us with syphilis. And not only do you lock us up and in jail before we become activists, you experiment in us like they did in Philadelphia. You have, what is the Holmes experiment, something like that? And when you inject us with different diseases, and you say that you put more money in our books. Go on, read it again.
Isaiah 51 verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets.
And what happens? What happens when you don't have heroes? Think about it. What happens? And that's the same thing they did in slavery. They killed the man and it weakened the child. So now that if you see all the strong black leaders during the slave revolts that were lynched, that were feathered, that were tarred, they took the biggest buck and they feathered and tarred them and ripped them in half with horses. And they did it in front of all the people, the women. So what do you think, how the mother's going to raise a child? Not to be a revolutionary, not to be a protector or provider. He said, no, don't do too much. Don't work too hard. You might make master jealous. Don't read too well. You might make master mad because he might think that you're smarter than him. You might think, don't make master mad thinking that master say, I provide for you now. You trying to get good education and say, no, don't worry, I'm going to provide for my own. Don't make master mad now. You're going to think, master's going to think that you better than him. No. So how does the mother raise him? The mother raised him lower than the standards of what a man is. She says, if I raise him to the standard of a man, to be masculine, to be courageous, to be bold, then master's going to see those attributes and he's going to take him away and kill him, because he thinks he's a threat. So they raise him to be weak, to be subservient, to be submissive. And then subconsciously, she switches the role and raises her daughter to be strong, because you have to raise somebody to be strong. It's natural. Somebody has to be strong. Everybody can't be weak, so she raised her daughter because she understands that it's not a threat. Physically, it's not a threat towards the master. Read it again.
Thy sons have fainted.
So what happens? The generations that came from the slave revolts, whose fathers were killed, gets weaker. Then you have there's still a sense of power or pride. But that generation tries to stand up. What happens? You weaken them by killing their leaders, locking up their activists, destroying them. And what happens? You flood the communities with drugs. You infiltrate the young community. They try to establish what is called bloods. Bloods meaning brotherly love under oppression and brotherly love over oppression and depression. And then you have Crip, destruction or depression. And then you have Crip was community relations in community revolution and progress. Look at what they did to our leaders. Community revolution and progress. Then you have the CIA infiltrate. You paid informants. You paid people like Ricky Ross to flood drugs within the black community. You put guns in the community. And what happens to the sons? You weaken them. You take away their fathers. You take away the heroes. Now what do they have? Drugs, guns, and violence. Read that again.
Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets.
And when they faint, meaning they walk in the congregation of the dead. They walk out of the way of understanding. What does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to be strong and courageous and to be bold and to be loving and caring? What does it mean to be all these things? To be a guidance to the house. He faints. He lost consciousness of his purpose. He lost consciousness of who he is, of his roots. He lost consciousness of the attributes that a man is supposed to possess. The purpose and the duty of a man with the marriage to be a provider, a protector. He lost consciousness or any type of courage or any type of motivation to become better or more educated. To be more educated so that he could provide more for his children, so he can make more, so that he could filter the money through the community, so that he could build more schools, build more programs. He loses all these confidence, so he faints. He loses conscience. He develops a low self-esteem, self-hatred. She loses confidence. She loses conscience. Go on.
Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets.
Now, the sons, they have nowhere to go. School's not an option because they don't teach you to be an entrepreneur in school. They don't teach you to balance a book. They don't teach you how to do taxes. They don't teach you how to save. They don't teach you about credit. They don't teach you about your vocational skills, carpentry, electrician. They don't teach you about building a house. They don't teach you about agriculture, health. They don't teach you the basic necessities in order to sustain life. They don't teach you about STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. They don't teach you how to be a husband, how to love your wife, how to raise a child. They don't teach you these things. Life is supposed to be about life. From the day you are you, life is not about all these false materialistic or these technological advances that they have created through the living life through the imagination of a man, thinking that we need things which we don't need, thinking that these things are advancing us in time, advancing people through the ages. No, because these technologies, if you look at it, it's more damaging than it's helpful. You got your 5G technology, your 3Gs, your 4Gs, your LTEs. All these are not good for the true Gs. Right. It's not good for us. You like that, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm on Biggie Lay's side. You know what I'm saying? It has a t-shirt right there. You know, so I've been working. You know, so it's not good for us. Because, you know, I say, hey, put that on that next album. So these things are not good for the things that we're supposed to learn. Like I said, when I went to India, you know the jobs they have? Farming. All the men, they was like, this is the wrong, you know, you came, it's hard, the season we came was the farming season. I mean, it was cultivating, it was harvesting the crops. So all the men, it'll be mostly women. We're like, where's all the men? All the women were there. It was some men. But most of the women, at some points, there was a lot of women. It was like, what happened? They was like, listen, this is farming season. This is harvest season. The men are all at work. They were working the fields. They were farming. It even goes back to the curse, but it's called husbandry. What do you think we were doing in Jerusalem a lot of time? We're doing things that were actually menial to day-to-day life. Farming provides for food. Yeah, some brothers, one brother, a good brother, he he was getting married. He couldn't really attend. He was coming to us, and he was every time he was at the hotel, he would come to the hotel. He would bring his family. He'd be there with us till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning every day. Just come, asking questions after questions after question. And I said, "Oh, you coming to us to the next?" I said, "Why don't you start coming to us? You say you coming every day." I said, "Why don't you come to the next event, and start, building with us?" He says, "I can't." I said, "Why not?" He says, "Because I'm building my house." He says, "I'm getting married in November." He says, "I'm building my house." He didn't say I didn't have somebody else. So he was building. I said, "Who else?" He said, "Me and a couple of friends." I said, "What the hell?" I said, "I can't even build blocks." He's talking about building a house. So I'm hearing now, you have farmers. Most of them are doing farming. You have brothers, they were building his own house. He says, carpentry. Or he's getting married in November. He says, in order for me to get married, I got to build my house. He understood that. All these things, they understood that. And the wives were at home. All the wives were at home cooking, cleaning, provide, all that stuff. That in their minds, the Seedies, to their minds, they're poor. They lack education. But look at us in America. We got more access to finance, and we're still stupid. We're the only people that speak one language. All these poor countries, they speak 4 to 5 languages. But I told them, I said, don't look at it. I said, don't look at your financial inabilities or your financial hardships as the path or the pipeline to happiness. Because people in America are on drugs, alcoholics, suicidal, with money, with riches, and they're still not happy. You have celebrities that are still not happy. I said, yes, you're poor, you don't got these things, but you got the basic. Do you got food? You got house? You got the basic necessities of life. And look at you guys. The brotherly love is beautiful amongst them. The brotherhood is beautiful. The familyhood is strong. The community values is strong. I said, you guys got something that we don't have in America. Even though they live in the forest, the Seedies. They live all the way in the forest. In the forest. I'm talking about, we went to some places when they would say, yo, we got to be careful. Don't go around at night. I will wake up, come out my hotel room in the morning. First of all, I got all types of creatures and creeping things. Lizards and all type of geckos and stuff just looking at me. He looking at me. I said, who you, nigga? He's like, who you? He said, you look different here. I said, damn, you look like the guy from Geico. Then you have, one day I woke up. I see damn baboons and monkeys out of in front of me. Yeah, ooh, ah. He said, nigga. I said, nigga. I said, oh, shoot, he's looking at me. I'm looking at him. He just chilling. I said, what you doing? I said, aren't you supposed to be in the zoo? He said, no. He said, this is life. So I'm looking out there. I'm seeing monkeys. We're driving. We're seeing water buffaloes. One point we saw hundreds of monkeys on the side of the road. I said, damn. I said, I only see monkeys in the Bronx Zoo. I see possums of raccoons and skunks and squirrels. And we see water buffaloes. So one of the towns we went to, I'm not going to tell you where we went to because Esau's a devil. But one of the towns we went to, it was like, yo, be careful at night. Roman. I said, what? I said, why? I said, what are you talking about? He says, this place is known for tigers. I said, what? I said, what you say? I said, you like Mobley? I said, like Mobley? Like, in the show Mobley? You mean tigers like that? And Tarzan? You talking about those type of tigers? He said, yeah. He said, I said, you ever see one? He said, yeah, they walk around all the time. He said, there's elephants in the forest. I said, elephants? I said, them big you mean jumbo? Jumbo's in the forest? He said, yeah, it's in the forest. I said, tiger? I said, tigers in the forest? He said, yeah, that's natural. I said, what kind of place am I at? But they were deep in the forest, and they had land. They were in poverty, but they had land. Now, in America, we call it homesteading, or we call it living off the grid. You notice how we thought we had everything, and we're living. Now, we're trying to live the way we're supposed to live. all the technology stuff. Now we want to live off the grid. I told you, I said, be happy with what you have. I said, because you have more than what we have with the substance that we give it. Now we're going to use it to travel. All praise to the Most High for that. He allowed us access to the worldwide, to the diaspora. But be happy that you're not in America. America will defile you, even though America does have some type of benefits, but it will defile you. Read it again.
Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in a net.
As a wild bull in a net, in a trap. Read.
They are full of the fury of the Lord.
And they're full of the curses of God. Give me Psalm chapter 51, verse 5.
The book of Psalms, chapter 51, verse 5. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me.
From the time we were born, we were shapen in iniquity. We were fashioned and we were formed. We were molded in it. We were formed in it. We inherited the lies and the sins of America. And what do you think that does? Sin creates and nourishes an environment and develops low self-esteem in a person. Sin doesn't produce confidence. Sin develops low self-esteem. Sin allows you to be depressed. Think about it. A woman that sleeps around, what happened after a while? She feels less than herself, and what does she resort to? More drugs, and alcohol. Then she let different brothers just run through her. It brings you to a state and a level of depression where you don't even care anymore. Read it again.
Behold, I was shapen in iniquity.
We were shaped in iniquity. We were taught to hate ourselves. Everything around us, we were taught. Everything around us was created to keep us where we are, on the bottom society. The church is set up around us. The liquor store is set up around us. The drug in our communities. The education. Everything, sin promotes sin. The holidays that they push towards us. The customs. The traditions. The dress, the fashion. We were shaped in these things, and it creates an environment of low self-esteem, of a lack of confidence. Go on.
Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me.
In sin did our mother conceive us. Give me Proverbs chapter 3, verse 13.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding.
You see, the Bible says, happy is the man that findeth wisdom. Meaning happy, think about it. When you first found out that you're Israelite, did not you guys feel a sense of excitement and joy? Right. Knowing that Christ is a black man? Right. I know brothers was teaching online. The brothers in Italy, and they taught him something as simple as Christ is black. The brother said, what? He said, yeah, Christ is black. He said, no. He said, you telling me Christ is black? He said, wow. He said, no. He said, Christ is black? He said, Jota. He said, whoa. Wow. You telling me we're the people of the book? You telling me that the Bible and the inheritance, the world was created for me? The Bible says happy is that man. Think about it. When you first heard this word, when you first heard that Christ was black, you first heard the greatest people ever to walk the earth were black, look like you and me. What do you think that did to you? When you look at it and say, why am I killing my brother? Why am I starting beef with my neighbor? They look like we come from a great people. Why would I kill somebody that's great like me? We come from great ancestors. You only harm somebody which you don't view as great. Do they harm the white man? No, because they view him as great. Because the white man replaced them in a place of, it's called role reversal, or I'll say it's trading places. They replaced themselves with our ancestors, with our fathers, our heroes. And now we look at them as being great. So that when we look at them, or when we try to act out the things that we have within us, because you have to channel that anger and that self-hatred somewhere, so you have to channel it So what are you channeling? You don't channel to the people that you think is great. You channel to the people that's in your community that you think that's on the bottom with you. Read it again.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 13. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom.
But when you find out you're the greatest people to ever walk the earth, that you were created above all people, what do you think that does to a person? What do you think it does to our children? When our children watch IYC, watch and read, when they say, look at my skin, Daddy, black is beautiful. When you see a child, you do the doll experiment, they say, oh, no, that's not, no. My beautiful brown skin, even though there's different shades of brown, because black means different shades of black. You have light skin, black, brown, but knowing that the seed of Israel is a beautiful seed.
That's
And we come in different shades. I don't want to say shapes because some of you need to lose them shapes. Some of you out of shape. So we came in different colors. So happy is he that findeth wisdom. You find out you're the greatest people in the world. Because another thing, read that again.
Happy is the man that findeth wisdom.
When you find wisdom, everybody is looking for a way out. The prostitutes, the gangbangers, the stick-up kids, the weed dealers, the weed users, the alcohol users. Everybody think about it. Every year during so-called New Year's, during our wicked pagan holiday, New Year's resolution, my brothers, let's be honest. Who smoked weed in here in the world? Oh, you guys? Damn, you Benjamin. I thought you smoked weed. Damn, you guys, nobody raised their hand? Oh, shoot. Let me not raise my, nobody smoked weed in the world? Okay, I got one. You didn't smoke? Nobody? Just 2, 3? Oh, okay.
Stop the cap.
Yeah. Some of you brothers are lying in here. Had me doing my, it's too late now. The cat is out there. So, every time I got high, I always said, my brothers that smoked, didn't it come like a time we was like, damn, I got to stop smoking weed? I always said it. All weed head or potheads, they always have the same conclusion. Damn, y'all got to stop smoking this thing. This thing, I can't get no work done. I can't study. I can't focus. It's slowing my brain cells down. You know, everything's delayed. Everything's in slow motion. Or even every time, think about it. Now, who used to drink in the world? Who used to get drunk? Piss drunk. Some of you guys are lying, man. Oh, you're from Haiti? You couldn't afford alcohol in Haiti? That's what it is? So now you never smoke, you never drank, you didn't afford alcohol? Oh, you came in the truth when you was young, I forgot. Still, yeah. He came from Haiti, there's no liquor in Haiti. So, when I was in the world, I said, damn, I got to start. And me and my friend was like, yo, we got to do better, man. Let's try not to smoke. Or every time you got drunk, when you guys got drunk, did you not say, damn, y'all got to stop drinking? You get pissed drunk, you forgot what you did, you stop drinking. This New Year's, I'm going to stop drinking for a month or a year. I'm going to stop smoking. Every New Year's resolution. Or think about it. Every time you had sex with those different sisters, why do you think you keep on having sex with different women? And some women you had sex with, they might have been they was good sisters. Some brothers took the virginity of good sisters and destroyed their lives. Why didn't you stay with them? Because why? You were nourished in sin. You were brought up in iniquity. You thought that was cool to destroy other people's lives. But inwardly, you knew what you're doing was wrong. How many women did you sleep with and you still felt empty inside? What would brothers always say every time they sleep with a different woman? I'm looking for that right woman. I'm looking for the right one. I'm looking for, wifey. Every time. Well, every time the woman sleep with a different man, she's always looking, even though being a hoe, sleeping around, she's always looking for that one man. Everybody is looking for something because why? Rooted within you. That's why David says, and within the inward parts thou desires truth. In the hidden parts thou shalt make me to know wisdom. Because within the inner parts and hidden parts is something called a conscience, where your spirit dwells. The spirit of your mind. And within that conscience dwells the laws of God that was placed within our mind. That's why it says the fear of the Lord was created with them. So your conscience kicks in. Your conscience kicks in and you say, damn, I want to stop smoking weed, but I have nothing to activate these laws within me, to connect me to. No standard, nothing to keep me, hold me accountable, nothing to restrict me. That's where religion comes from. Religious, which is a Latin word to mean to bind, to hold back, and to keep back from what? Your lust. It's to discipline you, discipline your thoughts, discipline your actions, discipline your deeds. Read it again.
Happy is the man that findeth wisdom.
Happy is the man. When I found out the law, I always wanted to stop smoking weed. But when I found out that 1 Corinthians 3:16, guess what? I stopped smoking right away. I just dropped it. When I found out the law that marriage is honorable and a bed undefiled, because when I was young, I always wanted to be married. I told my mom, I said, when I grow up, I want to get married, because that was naturally ingrained in me. It was encoded within the subconscious, within my mind, because the laws was always implanted within me, but I didn't know how to activate the laws. Between all the brushes of America's sins and lies. Meaning, because why? My spirit, my body, my flesh inhabited, and it kept me from reaching. There was different blocks, or like, what is it called? The angel that blocked Adam from access to the tree of life. The cherubims. There's different forces that work from allow me to access the tree of life, or access the root. Different forces. I wasn't able to access it, but it was always there. But when I found out, what does the Bible say?
Happy is the man that findeth wisdom.
When I found out the Lord says, thou shalt not commit adultery. Marriage is honorable. I said, damn, this is what I was looking for. I was looking for somebody to hold me accountable, not somebody to say, yo, do what you do, live your life. Have sex with many different women. Get in that many numbers as you can. Live your 20s. Then settle down in your 30s. I was looking for somebody to give me discipline. I was looking for somebody to connect me to the source that had me feeling good. So I said, damn, this feels good. Responsibility. This is what I mean missing, because why? We were created to follow God's laws. That's the whole duty and purpose of man. When I found out, because I used to get drunk silly. Inebriated. But when I found out the laws, they brought the laws to me and they said, yo, you can't, moderation. I said, damn, you're right. I don't like when I get drunk. I don't like that feeling of throwing up, of getting fights and not be able to remember the next day. I don't like that feeling, or our sisters being like, oh, I don't even know who slept with me. Damn, I don't know, did he have a condom on? Did he ejaculate in me? She doesn't remember the night that happened before. I remember sisters in college, girl, she had sex with this Edomite, and she didn't know who the person was. She said, I don't know who he was. I don't even know what he looked like. He didn't even use a condom. I know one guy in college, he was pissed drunk, and we knew the sister, and she had herpes. I said, bruh, you slept with her? He said, yeah. He said, I was drunk. I said, use a condom? He said, no. I said, oh, shit. But if he had wisdom, if he had the laws of God, it would prevent him. It will keep us from experiencing certain things. Hold that real quick. We're going to get me Wisdom of Solomon 19, verse 6. Verse 6.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19, verse 6. For the whole creature in his proper kind was fashioned again anew.
And the whole creature, meaning Israel, in his proper kind was fashioned again new, meaning born again. Read.
Serving the peculiar commandments that were given unto them.
Meaning, when we serve the peculiar commandments, we became born again. We become, as a little child, we're rebirthed. Because why? The people that we were in the world is not who we really are. So when we come back and serve the peculiar commandments, we come back to who we really are, because in the world, we were dead, zombies, the walking dead, lifeless, soulless, unconsciousness. Read. Come on.
That thy children might be kept without hurt.
That thy children might be kept without hurt. All these mental and psychological issues that we develop is from our youth, our childhood. That's why David says, behold, and iniquity was our fashion. Imagine everything that we could keep our children back from. We could keep our children from being single mothers. We could keep our children from being single fathers. We could keep our children from being game bangers, stick-up kids. We could keep our children from being pimps, prostitutes. We could raise them correctly to love themselves, to love their skin, love their culture, love their heritage, to see the true heroes. When they look at you, they say, Daddy, that's my king. Daddy.
That's right.
I remember my daughter, she was like, Daddy. He says, she said, Daddy. Every day, my daughter says to me every day, she said, Daddy, you're my king. He said, Daddy, you get everything you want because you're the king of the house. Every day, my daughter. I mean, every single day, my daughter comes and hugs me and kisses me and says, Daddy, you're the king. Whatever you want, you get because you're the king of the house. My daughter come up to me, she'll say that, Daddy, I can't wait till you get your powers so you can destroy this white man. She said, I can't wait, Daddy, to get your powers. He said, Daddy, I can't wait till you're a God on this earth. He said, Dad, I can't wait till you get us our castle. All these things, think about it. That's beautiful. When I hear that, I said, man, I'm going to punch somebody in the face. I can't wait to get down the street. Go on, read it again. To keep our what?
That thy children might be kept without hurt.
So our children grow up with self-esteem, grow up loving their beautiful woolly hair, their kinky hair. And for my Northern Kingdom sister, your curly hair or your Northern Kingdom hair. I know you've been mixing it in, so I can't, leave you out because we're not trying to develop a colorism and set light skin against dark skin. So you're included. You got a little tinted, little lighter color, but you still got a nice little shiny color to you. My lighter skin Northern Kingdom. Go on.
Verse 7.
So that's it. Now go back.
Proverbs
3.
3 verse 13. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding.
We become happy. We start to gain confidence. Read.
For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver.
And it's truth. When you get wisdom, you don't regard materialistic possession, the big house, the fame, the cars, the money, cars, the hoes, I suppose. We don't regard those things anymore. It becomes obsolete. Now we treasure wisdom above rubies. Now you have Deacon Abiel was going over, brothers, their playtime in the streets of Oklahoma is camp. That reminds me of Maccabees when a young man wore like apparel. Because they're fashioned anew. They have a new sense of purpose, a new, what is called perception of reality, a paradigm shift, and a perception of life and what they see. A young men that they grow up to be strong-rooted trees. Go on.
For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold.
Mm-hmm.
She is more precious than rubies.
Think about it. When you get that paycheck, where does that paycheck go? To bills. That's why it says wisdom is more finer than rubies. You get paid for the white man, everything goes in one pocket. It doesn't even go in the pocket. It does I would say it goes to the cloud. It transfers to the cloud. That thing stays in the cloud. It comes from the cloud, it stays in the cloud. And boomerang. It don't even enter your hand or pocket. You said, they'd be like, no, taxes.
Bruh.
Social Security, federal taxes, state tax. Oh, you're a deadbeat father in the war you made a mistake? Oh, garnish your check. Oh, unemployment, even though we're going to give you a small portion of unemployment. Oh, on top of that, you got bills. Oh, you want to buy a house? You got taxes on your house. Everything, we live, even with more money, we still live paycheck to paycheck because the economy and the inflation goes up, your money goes down in value, so you're still poor. So, the Bible, read that part again.
She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her.
Because the money that we make, you could get robbed from it. The dollar has no value. They could change the monetary system, the financial system. They could change how we deal with money, with currency. They could take it away from you. They could garnish your check. They could pay you less. They could fire you. But wisdom, read that again.
She is more precious than rubies.
Why is wisdom more precious than rubies? Because wisdom, when you learn the mysteries of the gospel, when you learn the secrets of the times, when you learn Christ is black, the transatlantic slave trade was in the Bible, when you learn that the Israelites were black, when you learn the future of these other nations, We learn your future and your kingdom. The immortality promised us, the world and everything in the world. The mystery of when you wrote regeneration, did that depart from your pockets? Did that leave and go into the cloud? Did that go to bills? No, thou starred your internal hard drive called your spirit. The payment, the rubies, and the wisdom that God gives you, he distributes in your bank, your spiritual bank account. And that wisdom stays. It's not garnished unless you sin, you break the laws. That's the only way it'll be garnished. But he puts and he invests and he keeps on putting more and more and more. You spiritually become weak. You spiritually become wealthy. Think about it. What's more, these people as wealthy as they are, can they tell you the signs of the times? Can they go into prophecies to tell you the world? Think about it. All that money, I can tell you your future. God damn. What the hell? Brothers, do you understand the power in your hand? Think about it. We hold power. We hold the past, the present, and the future in this Bible right here. That's what we hold. Right. We might be poor. You might be broke. You might be down and out, but we got power. We got time. We like Novus Koski or Novus Cronus. You don't know what that is for my anime watchers. Meaning we hold time in our hand. I don't think you guys understand. We hold time in our hand. And then as we teach, as we prophesy, we are furthering the timeline. I don't think you guys understand that. Remember, give me that when it says his words drop not in Samuel's. I think it's 18 or something like that. 1 Samuel's 18:17. What is it? Give me that word. When it says his words drop not to the floor. When it says his words drop not to the floor, meaning the time he spoke of didn't drop. When we speak, the angels are activated and forwards the time to fit the words that came from your mouth, which was from the Bible. The prophecy given to you, when you say you're going to do something, that's why they say speak it and you'll become it. And it'll happen. Speak things into existence. When we speak, things come into existence. You got that? It says Samuel's words didn't drop to the floor. Everything, something like that. It's 3, yes. Thank you.
1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 19. And Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him, and did let none of his words fall to the ground.
None of his words. When Samuel spoke, I'll say it again. When Samuel spoke, the angels were activated, and none of his words fell to the ground. You're talking about riches. You're talking about broke. You hold time. Who could tell you? How do you compare gold to time? How? Think about it. You walk around confident. You know, I tell brothers, when we're in India, the brothers are stressing, though, they're not going to hear. I'm sitting back like this. I'm like this. I'm looking at them. Some of the brothers are stressing because we had some opposition. They try to stop us. They try to get the brother that was hosting us fired. They called his job and try to get him fired. They was worried, but the people believe, but they don't want to follow this and that. I'm looking at them. I'm laughing. I said, why are you worried? Why are you stressed? I'm just sitting back in my chair like, it already happened. I said, we're just catching up to the timeline. I'm looking at him. He's stressed. He's looking at me. What are you talking about? I said, I'll say it again. Stop stressing and sit back. And we're laughing. We're having drinks and stuff like that. He's stressed out. He's like, yo, what's going on? There's a lot going on. People are calling the villages. I'm looking at him like this. He said, but some of them don't want to listen. They're trying to cause trouble. I'm looking at him like this. So relax. Sit back and enjoy the timeline. I said, it already happened. He said, what are you talking about? I'll say it again. It already happened. Everything that we're doing happened already. We didn't know when it's going to happen, but it already happened in the spirit. We're just catching up to the timeline. I said, so just relax. No matter what happens, it's going to catch up. Read it again.
1 Samuel chapter 3, verse
let's go back now.
Go back.
So wisdom is above gold, rubies. When you have the application, you feel good when you keep God's laws. When you're in the spirit, you say, damn, I'm in the spirit. I'm keeping God's laws. My house is in order. My family's in order. I know who I am. I got time in my hand. I said, well, man, what else can I? That's power. This false sense of power that Esau has, that's not real power because they die. They try to prolong their time. Think about it. They don't have time. This is why I say there's a difference. Esau owns everything. They have access to wealth. They have access to land, gold, silver. You have, what is that old decrepit living creature? Warren Buffett. No, Warren, yeah, him too. But the Rockefeller that died, he had like 7 heart surgeries. With this money, what was he trying to buy? Time. Esau had gold, the rubies, and all type of materialistic possession. But what are they always trying to do? Why do you think they harvest our organs? Why do you think so? Why do you think they take our blood? Or they take the woman's placenta? Yeah, why do you think that? Doing research to extend, or stem cell research. Or, what is her name? Harriet Lacks. Henrietta Lacks? That's her name? Henrietta, yeah. I was like, Henrietta. Sound like a Benjamin name. Henrietta Lacks. Why do you think they took her cells? They called her, what do they call her again? They called her, she had immortal cells? They call her immortal cells. You put her on the screen. Henrietta Lacks. They still, to this day, they took her cells for stem cell research because they said she had immortal cells. Esau is trying to buy the little time on this earth. Oh, God. Look at that thing. Yeah, look at that thing. 7 heart surgeries and still died. 7 heart surgeries. And people are trying to say, oh, you see, listen, these people, they're trying to create sleeves and transfer your consciousness. They ain't transfer no damn consciousness. They're trying to buy time. That's why Marco Polo, what did he try to find? They're trying to find the fountain of youth. Esau has always been trying to find time. They've been trying to find immortality. But it wasn't given to them. But the beautiful thing is, there's no such thing as time with us. Give me that in Sirach chapter 1. What Esau is trying to buy, happy is he that gets wisdom. We have. We have time. We have the power of time. And with us, there is no such thing as time. Because our spirit is eternal. Our flesh right now is not, but our spirit is immortal. Because when you die, what happens? You just transfer to one life to the next, and you're still awake. So there's no such thing as time with us. With them, there is time. And they're on a timeline, and we're not. Go on.
Sirach, chapter 1, verse 1. All wisdom cometh from the Lord, and is with him forever. Who can number the sand of the sea, and the drops of rain, and the days of eternity?
Who can number the days of eternity? Read.
Who can find out the height of heaven?
Read.
And the breadth of the earth?
Read.
And the deep? And wisdom?
Read.
Wisdom hath been created before all things, and the understanding of prudence from everlasting. The word of God most high is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are everlasting commandments. To whom hath the root of wisdom been revealed, or who have known her wise counsels? Unto whom?
Okay, somebody find me scripture when it talks about immortality. It's like a raindrop, something like that, eternal life. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Read that again. Or we get that from the top?
Verse 1. Sirach 1, verse 1. All wisdom cometh from the Lord, and is with him forever. Who can number the sand of the sea, and the drops of rain, and the days of eternity?
So who could number the days of eternity? Who can number that? Go on.
Who can find
You
out
found it?
that
What is it? Sirach what? Thank you. Read that. Sirach 18.
Chapter 18, verse 10. As a drop of water unto the sea, and a gravel stone in comparison of the sand, so are 1,000 years to the days of eternity.
He's comparing, and notice he said 1,000 years to the days of eternity. Because with them, 1,000 years, they're going to perish. But with us, at the days of eternity, you can't, that 1,000-year reign, but we're going to reign beyond that to eternity. So there's no, for the righteous, there is no time with us. Esau's trying to buy something that we possess when we keep God's commandments. So that's why the Bible says, happy is he that finds wisdom. It's above rubies. It's above wealth. That's why a lot of you women, you don't know what you have. You argue with your husband because he gave you $45. He gave you the last bit of the money that he has in his bank account because he's providing for you. The man is struggling. He's stressed out. And we're living in an environment where the economy is crippling, when everything's going up in price, but you don't want to work. You don't want to contribute. You don't want to get a job at home. Yeah, we want to provide, but we live during different times. Instead of complaining, do something about it. You always running your mouth. Oh, we never had this. You got food? You still alive? Can you see your ribs? What the hell are you complaining about? You complaining about something that doesn't exist because the woman is naturally deceived. The woman plays into her emotions and she plays into the materialistic things that she wants. It's always, I want. Well, damn it, you want the world, we're trying to give it to you, but you don't believe. We're trying to give it to the world, but you need to be patient, just like with Acrimony. He was trying to give her the world. It's the same thing. He said, yo, I need you to support me for the time being, even though, like it says, we don't condone man not working. But I'm going to use it in the context of this truth. He said, yo, just wait, be patient. I'm going to get us everything you want, everything you need. I'm going to get you it. I just need you to be patient. I need you to go through the hard times with me. I need you to struggle with me. I need you to just eat food with me and not go shopping. Just eat the basic things, just to struggle. Eat that PB&J with me. Yeah, we're going to wear the same clothing. Our shoes are a little bit dusty. We're going to dust together a little bit until we make it. But guess what? I'm doing this. The disciples, what do you think the disciples? Give me that. In Matthew chapter 10. No, actually, Matthew chapter 18, 20. He that follow me, 1929 in regeneration.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 29. And everyone that had forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife.
Wait, start at verse 27.
Yes, sir. Matthew chapter 19, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have thereof? Therefore,
the disciples forsook everything. The woman went the world, but you know what comes with the cost? But it's, I can show you the world. They're like, I want everything. I want the world. I want to be on top. I want money. I want everything. All right, you'll get it. But you got to follow me on this journey. The disciples said, we forsook everything. What did they forsake? Verse 29.
Verse 29. And everyone that hath forsaken houses.
They forsook houses. Because you can't successfully preach this gospel throughout the diaspora and pay your mortgage at the same time. It's going to come a time that you might have to give up the house. You might have to move to a different location, or you might have to sell the house and just go from place to place and live like that. It's going to come a time, brothers, when the Spirit's going to come on you to push this gospel to the four corners of the earth. And you can't maintain your house in the States. Go on.
And everyone that hath forsaken houses or brethren.
You forsake your brethren, your family. Go on to preach the gospel because you got to travel. You got to teach. Your family's calling. I haven't seen you for years because I'm teaching 24/7. I'm teaching every day. I don't got time to give you a call. I got more things. I got people that don't know who they are. I got people that's getting traffic that need to hear this word. I got people across the earth that don't know this truth. So you think I got time to make a phone call while I'm making 10, 20 phone calls over there? No, we don't got time for that. We barely got time for ourselves or sleep or self-care. So what makes you think that we got time for that? So forsaken brethren. You're going to get forsaken for the truth. Read.
Or sisters. Or father.
Oh, you got sisters. You got fathers. You ever see me? You don't visit the house. We don't got time to visit the house. I'm in a different country. I'm in a different city. I love you, Father. I'll give you a call every so often, but my main priority is this truth. Don't you know I'm about my Father's business? If Christ's father and mother, Joseph and Mary, they were in the truth. They knew the laws. Mary was blessed above all women. But Christ told his father and mother, listen, I know you're looking for me, all that, but understand this. I love you, but I'm about this work. I'm about the Father's business. I don't got time for that, Mom and Dad, even though he's supposed to be in subjection. But Christ was showing the pattern of a man of the Lord, a man with works. He doesn't regard anybody else. When his mother came with his brothers and sisters, he said, who's my father and my mother? Those that keep the commandments. He said, I'm doing my Father's business. They can wait. Your family can wait when it comes to this truth.
That's
Life
right.
can wait when it comes to this truth. Read.
Or mother, or wife,
Or what?
or wife.
You might think, okay, some of you have forsaken your wife because she's nagged, she's keeping you behind. But let's go further. You think that you could take your wife to some of these countries? No. You're forsaking your wife because you might have to go get deployed to another country for 3 months to build that congregation up. So what do you think your wife is going to be? At home. Because you can't take it. Some of these countries are dangerous. You cannot take your wife there. When we go all away for a month, what do you think you're going to do? That's forsaking your wife because you're not there with her. So you're forsaking her too. You think Peter? Think about it. Peter had a wife, did he not? His wife was killed with him. Peter was a fugitive. You think the wife was running with him everywhere he went? No. Was the wife locked up everywhere he went? No. He was locked up for long periods of time. He was a fugitive. Peter had to travel and preach the gospel. It doesn't talk about all the apostles, their wives, but they had wives and children. Peter had children. You think that he was up under his wife all the time? He was a top disciple. He had to travel. He was traveling to reconfirm the gospel. So you think he was one? No, these journeys took weeks, months he was away for. Forsaken wife, children, father, mother. Go back to where I went. I don't know why I went.
We was at Sirach chapter 18 and 10.
Oh, yeah, for immortality. Now, let's go back to the topic. Proverbs, yes, 3 verse 26. We'll end the class soon.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse
26 now.
26. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 26. For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken.
The Lord shall be our confidence, and shall keep our foot from being taken. So the Lord is our confidence, and he's going to keep our foot from being taken. What? Taken to the world. Taken into corruption. He's our strength. He's our confidence. He's the one that's going to give us self-esteem and build our character up. He's going to give us that courage to go out there and to provide for our family, to go out there to put our lives on the line. So, like I said, I got more scriptures, but it's kind of late. You know, the white man's the devil. We got work tomorrow. So, you know, we're going to end class there. We might do a part 2. Who knows? But I'm going to go into other stuff, you know. We might go into some other stuff. I got, you know, a nice little class coming up. So stay tuned. I'm about to go deep into the history. All right, brothers and sisters, we're going to end with that note. Shalom. Most High Christ bless.